Hi, today we're gonna replace the Newel post, the handrail and spindles on this staircase. So first of all, we need to cut the Newel post off. So I'm gonna actually replace it with this one here. So as you see, there's a point you can actually place it in, but we need to actually cut the post. So what I've done, we take this and we hold it the same height. That's how I want it. We hold it there. We just mark a line just below, and then we use a set square and mark all the way around. Yeah, there and there. And as a guide, we just use some clamps to clamp some wood on, so it will help us sort of cut it. The best way to really cut it is just to use a saw. Nothing too fancy really. So let me place the camera in a reasonable position. So let's get the saw. Now, so next thing, let's attach like this. So it's probably better if I chop this first. So I don't know if I can record this easily. Let's have a go. Hang on. Let me chop this without the camera. It's just getting in the way. Okay, so there we have it. I've cut the handrail. So as you see, it's still, spindles are still attached, so I'll shake that out. Try not to damage it too much. That's all loose as well. I think it's giving way now, I can feel it. Post out. It's all nailed in. Let's see now. Chisel away. Okay. So what I've done, I've cut a little bit into the plaster, so hopefully it won't get too much damage. And if you see the movement, yeah, it comes away completely. It's ideal. So I'll fit some new architrave as well. Hence why I chopped the top bit off and put a couple of nails in. There you have it. That's the first part done. Next thing, we'll pull out all the nails, and there's a ridge just there. We'll chisel that down a little bit so it's level. We'll move the carpet away a little bit, take the gripper away. And then we can put the base rail in. So there's a cut so far. Let me clean up and I'll start the next bit of filming. Okay, so I've taken out most of the nails. So now I'm just levelling the edge. The extra filler and paint here, I'm just taking a chisel to the edge. Just a better, slightly level surface to put the base rail. Doesn't have to be perfect, but just level. So. There you go. So strangely enough, well, not surprisingly, there were nails actually down below like this. So I've knocked them from the top here, top down, and I pulled them out. There you go. Right, next thing is to take up the carpet gripper. So we've got the area clear for the base rail. It's pretty simple to do. I can somehow place the camera. There's literally 2 nails there in between that. Pull it up. Right, now the carpet gripper's up. Just get a chisel, level it further, scraping it along. Better. So I've got this give it a few more scrapes with the camera put down. Okay, here we go, it's all cleaned up now. It's all gone. Scraped it down as well, so it should be fairly level. So the next thing is, we need to find the centre point of this, so we can start drilling for that. So, if I zoom in a little bit. Okay, to get the centre point, we want to mark across like that. So from one corner to the next. Oh, it's just moved. Yeah. Then that one. You have the centre, and then next thing you want to do is measure the diameter of that, the end of the post. So if I bring that up, let me zoom out. So it's about 5 centimeters size. So we can use a compass now, just that, and measure, get a pencil. Oh. Right. So we measure 2.5 centimeters. Two and a half, yep. Find the centre point. Oh. And we won't go exactly to the 5 centimetre point, we'll go slightly in. So as you see, maybe it's slightly too big. So I'll draw a little bit more around it. That looks fairly level. Oh. Okay, nearly there. And it's better actually just to use a small drill piece, so let me get the drill ready. Right, okay, next thing, let's let me get the camera into a good position. So, the drill bit, I'm using a 10mm. What we want to do is get the post, see how deep to go. Let me get some masking tape as a marker so we don't go too deep. We want it just a little bit more, slightly. Okay, we'll go for there. Double check that. Oh, it's come off. Okay, that's that on. Just want to mark a few more like quadrants in there. So we'll aim to go somewhere like, perhaps, we'll go in as close as possible maybe, let's see. So if you go slow, there's no point using the larger one. It will just make it more tricky. Angle it a bit if I've got some space. the number of holes so far. So now, hopefully that's weakened it somewhat. I'll get a 3D drill bit. So a 3D drill bit can be moved about in multiple directions, and it looks like that. So this should hopefully help break it down a bit more. This again is 10mm as well, but once it's in we can twist it. Okay, so there we have it. Cleaned it out, chiselled it out. It's quite useful actually to have a chisel with a very small end. You literally point in and knock it out slowly. And the other method, quite useful, is if you get a chisel and just scrape it inside. So I've hoovered up, and I've also used a slightly larger 3D drill bit, and it does fit. I think it just needs a bit more scraping around the edge. It's a nice tight fit, you see. So the next thing I want to do is at the top of the Newel post is take it down at the corners slightly, because while it's quite sharp like that on the edges, you want it to match up to a certain point, obviously. So the way you can do this, so I want it 2.5 centimeters. So 2.5 there. Just mark it with this. Okay. Obviously we need to go down a certain amount as well, so let me measure the existing one. That goes down about 2 centimeters. So measure 2 centimeters down. There you go. Now let me do the other four off the camera, make it slightly easier. Okay, there we have it now. The edges are all carved down, and I've used like a mini plane to sort of smooth off the edges a little bit, so they're not too sharp, as you see. Yeah. And within the actual post in the middle, I've carved around the inside a bit more with the 3D drill bit. Hopefully, I've already tried it once, but it should just slowly slide in. There you go. So what we need to do, we'll have to screw this in. We'll screw it in a number of directions, and then we'll glue it as well. It's not too bad. As you see, there's a bit of movement. Obviously, we need to attach it to the wall. So what I'll do next, I'll just get the architrave fitted on this door, and then we can start attaching this Newel post and handrail. I'll show you from a distance. Okay, there you go. Now we've got the architrave fitted on. What I've also done, let's scraped all the paint off this side. Just so I'll probably strip all this down. Just to make it easy. So next thing is to work on the base rail. So for that we'll have to get the centre over here, and then we'll draw a line straight down, and then we'll get the centre of the base rail and we'll just match it up. Let me go and do that now. Okay, so now what I've done, strangely enough we have some skirting board here, so I'll just remove that, and I've cut the base rail, so I've got a slight slot in there, put this in there, mark the middle of the base rail and the middle of the Newel post. The middle is just there, touches to there, so I'll just nail it in now. I think 3 screws should do it. What I'll do, I'll plaster this later on now. Okay. Right, so now the base rail's in place, we should start working on attaching the actual handrail. So what I'll do is actually take this out first, twist out. So I've actually fitted another Newel post and handrail down here. So I've measured the distance from the top and it was actually 7 centimetres. So I've measured 7, go for the centre across, 4.5 and 4.5. So here's an offcut of an actual handrail. So what I've done, I've got the middle marked out at the top and at the bottom. And what we want to do, we want to just draw in the shape. So just looking at the mark at the top, making sure it lines up with the mark at the bottom, and I'll just mark around it. Just so we sort of keep it in the centre when we fill it. There you go, it's a rough sort of idea of where it is. So, we've got a fitting kit to fit the actual handrail. It's literally a bolt. So you have to drill from one end to the other. And it should pop out up here, but obviously we've got to get the measurements correct. So, sort of roughly measured things out the other day. This is not good. So let me measure it up. So we want to sort of get it on the centre. So we measure the centre. We find the position we want, and we just draw the markings on it. So literally all we need is the bolt to pop out. And then the handrail will have that fitted on it. So we'll just screw onto it like that. So let me get things prepared and marked onto there, and I'll record again. So there you have it. I've actually roughly got a centre on that, and I've marked the position of this, and I've got the middle where the bolt should go in. So because this is tricky doing it one-handed, well, two-handed, without any additional help holding the camera, I've bolted the Newel post to the side. So let's get the bit we'll need, drill bit, and you see that's perfect size, yeah. So that's just 10mm. So I'll attach that, and we can begin drilling through. What I've done, I've placed a piece of wood underneath it. Just need a good place to place it right now. So we need to go all the way through. The reason for the wood underneath, so it doesn't split the other side too much when it goes all the way through. You want to aim to get it pretty centre on if possible. Feel that go through. Let's unclamp. Unclamp it. Have a look. It's not too bad. There you go. So, next thing is to go further. Reason being, obviously, for the bolt to be countersunk. So, let's get another bit. What I'm going to do is fill the holes, it'll just be easier rather than do anything else with it. You get the caps to put over it, but no, I think I'll just fill it. So it's not too bad, it's not exactly centre, but once you fill it you won't be able to notice. So this goes in there, and then the bolt sits on there. So we need it going in obviously a certain amount so it sticks out. So we need it about really there. So obviously the drill bit will have to go in a certain amount and get masking tape. Mark how much we need it going on. So obviously this will go in like that, tighten it up to there, and the drill bit will have to go in about there. So I mark it approximately. That should be more than enough, I think. Just double check. Just there, and that's just, yeah. Okay, so let's put this back on here. Obviously easy if you've got someone holding it for you. But let's see what I can do with this. Put the camera in position. Okay, I'm going to replace the drill bit. Okay, the drill bit's on, placing it in position. Oh, that's come off. I don't press into the actual wood too much and cause a mark. Okay, let's try again. A little bit more. There you go. Unclamp it. See if it fits in. Right, so it's unscrewing the bolt. Put it in, goes in, fine. There you go. It's come out the other end. It's like putting the Newel post back in place. And then we can start measuring up the handrail. Just hoovered inside the Newel position where the Newel post is going to go. So what I'll do, I'll put some glue on this. Hopefully that will help to stick it in place. And as well as that, we'll put some nails into it as well. We'll need the clamps again, just to keep it in line with the existing bottom part of the post. Right, so that faces outwards. There's going to be some excess looking at it, so we shift that inwards a bit more. There we go. It's gone in. So what we'll do now, this wood before that dries too quickly. Wipe off some of the excess. Just here. We'll do a clamp one here. Make sure it's in line. Clamp one on the other side. I zoom out? Nope. So, make sure that's sitting in place. Yeah, that's not too bad. Tighten the clamps. Hopefully that will line it up a fair amount. Do the top now. I'm tricky one-handed doing it, but we'll manage. Right. In place. Still a big gap there. Let's get a bit of wood. We'll bang it down. some of this later. Okay, so there we go. Newel post is in position. Bolt is there. There's the point the actual screw goes in to attach the actual handrail. So that's what we have so far. So let me start getting the handrail ready, and we can drill into it in preparation to fit it in. Right, so to actually get the handrail measurements where the bolt should go, we measure centre downwards, if I can fit, so it's 2.5. I've marked this one off already, so you just go 2.5. And then we just drill straight into it. So let me mark that up and I'll get it ready for drilling. So there's the centre point. And we just need to, first of all, drill enough to fit this in. So that's a 10. I think that's too small. Let's go for maybe a 13. Slightly larger. Nah, too big. I think a 12 would do it. Let's find a 12. Just right. Obviously you want to countersunk it. So we do that. We want to go at 25, I think. Okay. 25 may do it. I can just move it off around there. So maybe we'll go in with the 25 first and then we'll do the 10. So for the, oh no, not the 10, so what am I saying, 12. So looking at it, let's get the masking tape ready. Need to go in enough to sit it in, so if I go for, say, that much. The bits and pieces drilled, so drilled and countersunk, so just need to screw it in. It's nearly ready to be fitted. So here we have now the handrail fitted. As you can see, bolt goes through there. It's attached onto the end here. I've had to sort of mould it in a little bit here. I'll put a nail in there. I'll put a couple more in, and I'll slide it. I've slid the actual spindles in now as well. They're not to the correct size yet. I mean spacing, but I'll do that later on. So I've calculated that it's about 7.6 centimeters to get even spacing all the way along. So I sort of cut one spindle and using the measurements of that, just cut all the others in one go and just slid them in. So as you can see, you can literally move them all along. See, so all I need to do now, put the spacers in and glue it, so that'll be the next stage. Okay, so here's all the spindles taken out, and just to show you. I've cut them all to size, and what you do is just place them all in one go, and you can space them out. If they don't fit in, you just drop them down like so, and then slot them into place. There you go. So I've cut the spaces. So again, what I did with a Mitre Saw, literally jammed some wood into one end of the Mitre Saw, and then every other one that was chopped could just be chopped the same size, and the saw blade was about there. And then obviously I've measured out distance between them. We won't need, there was an additional spindle I did, but wouldn't need that, to be honest. It would look a bit strange, it would have been there. So, get some wood adhesive. Check the first one. Yeah. Looks fine. I've hoovered into the gap as well. Put some in there. Place it in as tight as possible. What I might do is put a little bit in there. There you go, so it's nice and tight. Again, the next one. Shouldn't need too much, really. Okay, again. So, to do the top one, what we'll do, we'll get a spirit level, hold it against it, and we'll get it level first. Get it level, there you go, and then get one of the slots, put some glue on there. Not sure if I have to nail this in for it to stay in place, but let's see. Ah, it's not bad, it's staying in. It's moved, so we'll just make sure it's level. And that's it. Proceed with the next one then. Okay, so I did glue this in, but I think it's actually better if we put panel pin in. Only because as you put the other ones in, it may move. So that's level at the moment. So that's in place. Just make sure it's correct. I don't want to make a mistake at this stage now. Okay, that's level. I've got my panel pin. It's a little tiny nail. We'll actually sink it in right in, and I'll just fill it in later on. I'll get one of these. There you go, that's in. Great. Okay. Okay, here's the stairs with the spindles fitted in now. All finished. Let's just show you the last few cuts I had to do. It's that and that. There you go. all done. Thanks for viewing.